there, welcome back to the Dark Moon podcast, where we're going to explore the wonders of our world today. I'm Kate Sylvanus, and today's episode is particularly timely as we're discussing the Spring Equinox, which occurred yesterday on the 20th of March. So the Spring Equinox marks the official astronomical beginning of spring in the Northern Hemisphere, where that special moment when the day and night are approximately equal in length all across the globe. So let's talk about what is actually happening I've spelt that wrong and I can't even pronounce it. Astrologically, probably, but I've spelt that so badly I can't even say it myself. But anyway, the equinox occurs because the Earth orbits the Sun at a tilt around 23.5 degrees throughout the year. This tilt causes different parts of the Earth to receive sunlight at different angles. Duh. During the equinox, the Sun is positioned directly above the equator. The Sun's axis is perpendicular to the Sun's rays, meaning that the Sun rises exactly in the east and sets exactly in the west. After today, the Northern Hemisphere, the days will be continuing to getting longer until the summer solstice in June. So, we've survived the darkness and the winter, and it looks like life is getting warmer, at least, if nothing else. Okay, so meanwhile in the Southern Hemisphere, and I used to live down in South Africa for 10 years, they're experiencing the autumn equinox and heading towards winter, and their winter isn't half as bad as ours. But it does have ups and downs because you can have really, really heavy temperature drops during the day and the night. But here in England, we get very, very cold, and the icy winds have been nasty this year. So that's the beauty of our tilted planet, basically. It's all sort of very set, very easy to sort of figure out. But I forget every year that it's going to happen. The spring equinox has been celebrated by cultures around the world for thousands of years. Many ancient structures were actually built to align with the equinoxes and the solstices. So, take the famous pyramid at Chichen Itza in Mexico, where the equinox creates the illusion of the serpent slithering down the stairs. Or the Stonehenge in England, which is just down the road from me, which aligns with both the solstices and the equinoxes. These alignments show just how important these astronomical events were to ancient peoples. The equinox often marked the time for planting crops and celebrating fertility and renewal. So it is worthwhile noting if you're a farmer. And I think it's probably really, really important for them to know when the equinoxes and the solstices are. But for the rest of us who are not farming, we tend to disregard it. It's like a shift, I suppose, a shift in energies and tides. I always see that every 6 weeks we go into a light phase or a dark phase. This is obviously into a light phase. And quite frankly, the dark phases are a little bit much these days. It's like there's like a dissonance, disharmony of light and darkness. It's like somebody's plugging into it and they're using it for, all right, we're into a dark phase now, let's flood the media, social platforms with negativity, fear this, and everything. Now we can take a step back as we're entering a light phase, which means that our programmers are a little bit out of balance, so we can just find some balance. And I think that's important. Check out my website, weavesofwaves.life. I've got more of this stuff on there. But let's go back to the spring equinox. The Persian New Year, Nowruz, coincides with the spring equinox and has been celebrated for over 3,000 years. And in Japan, the spring equinox is a national holiday called the Shunbun. Shunbun? Not sure how to pronounce that either. Or Shunbun no Hai. When families visit ancestral graves and clean them out as part of the Buddha's traditions. So, let's address some common misconceptions. Is the equal day and night thing truly exact? Interestingly, no. The name equinox comes from the Latin, meaning equal night, but due to atmospheric refraction, the size of the sun in our sky Most places on Earth actually get slightly more daylight than darkness on the equinox. So it's just a calendar thing. Another equinox myth is that you can balance an egg on its end only on the equinox. Any truth to that? Well, I did look it up. And you can try. It actually depends where you are in the world, and it's not the same every year. So I couldn't say that this is a true thing, but it does depend on the shape of the egg and have you got patience and a steady hand. I tried it once upon a time, and no, I haven't got a steady enough hand. So the equinox doesn't create any special gravitational conditions, and that's probably why I forget it's happening. Because, I'm aware of the tidal systems from solstices, and I'm aware of things like Beltane, and you can feel, if you've got the gentle shifts, there are sort of nudges, if you like. But equinoxes don't hit me that hard, so let's put it that way. So I'm going to wrap it up. I think it's worth noting that the equinox remind us of the constant change in our natural worlds. Right, so there is change, and it's going on, even though it's very subtle. And those of us that live even close to nature don't necessarily pick it up. But the seasons shift, the light changes, and we're all part of this grand cosmic dance. And I like that. I like being part of nature. I like being in a human body that ebbs and flows with times and stuff. Now, a lot of the times I struggle against it, but it does remind me, if no one else, to just relax and go with the flow, go with the dance that is happening. Because it's a very wonderful cosmic dance that's happening all around us. And if we get too involved with all the sort of the nonsense of politics and things like that, it's like it sucks us away from the natural world. And I need a kick up the butt sometimes just to be reminded. And I got one because it was like, what? Equinox? Really? I got up yesterday morning thinking, okay, what was the difference between this today? I was very grumpy about the whole thing. It was like, is there difference between today's one and yesterday's one? Not really. I couldn't feel anything. So I was a little bit like, well, I'm up at dawn and I can't feel a thing. What's so special? And I could have gone down to Stonehenge. I could have gone to Avebury. I could have even gone to Glastonbury. But it's not that thing. It's not much of a thing for me. If it is for you, I respect that. But I couldn't feel it. So, right, spring is now officially here. It's been announced. It's been said, so it must be true. Especially in the Northern Hemisphere. Of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, you can say that autumn is now hitting. So as the seasons shift, the light changes. And we can look forward to warmer days and flowers. Ray, I'm going to go foraging soon for dandelions any day now. And, I love the wild garlic as well. Going to make some wild garlic butters and things like that. So, yes, waiting for the earth just to sprout and to spring open. So we need also a renewed sense of hope and potential, new potentials. I like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this Dark Moon podcast. Join me again very soon and we'll dive into the mysterious worlds. I'm looking at all kinds of things right now to match up. I think we're going to do one on sacrifice, match up with the Easter, sacrifice, the power of sacrifice. I'm busy writing it anyway. Hope you've enjoyed this quick one. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.